All right. Hey guys, so I am Cheesette Cowan, the CEO of Real Estate, your CEO coach. Excited to talk to you a little bit today about a few things. One of them is this awesome book, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. I'll talk a little bit about this, but I'll tell you that regardless of what brokerage you work for, this is a great book on real estate systems and models. One of the things that I am just very careful to help people understand is that you're going to reach a ceiling in everything that you do. If you are listening to this message and you've reached a point in your career where you were struggling to get your first 1 or 2 transactions, now you're consistently doing 1, 2, or 3 transactions a month, but you feel stuck there, then this video is for you. And then when I say you feel stuck there, like you're doing everything that you know to do, but you can't seem to move the business forward to get the volume and the production that you want, this book is a book of systems and models that help me break through that same ceiling. And you're going to reach that ceiling because every level of life that you get to requires a different version of you. And then now when you get there to go to the next level, you have to expand and become a different version of you again. I want to share something with you. Someone asked me, what things help you break through that ceiling, that plateau? If you've ever had one, and I have had several. I have them every year, and most entrepreneurs will tell you that they do, and we do. Gary Keller's class, The 6 Personal Perspectives, has a list of 6 things that every business owner needs to understand in order to take their business to the next level. And those 6 principles are how I live my life and how I run my business. And they really help me take everything to the next level. The first principle is commit to self-mastery. If you are going to be in this business and you want to be a millionaire real estate agent, really make a lot of money, you have to commit to self-mastery. You have to master yourself. You have to master the things about you that only you know about, that you're struggling with, but you have to commit to becoming a better version of yourself. Because as you can see with this poster in the back, everybody asks, what do I need to do to get to my next level? It's not what you need to do. Doing is secondary to who you have to become. You have to become somebody different. The person that makes $100,000 is not the person that makes $1 million. This is why I'm a big fan of systems. When you make $100,000, it's easy to make $100,000. You can make that without paying attention to anything. You are going to have to push your way to $1 million, and that's going to be tracking every little detail. But guess what? The person that doesn't master themselves doesn't know how to track because it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel fun. It's not sexy. So self-mastery says, I'm going to do what I need to do for the business and what needs to be done, even when I don't feel like it. It's mastering your emotions. It's mastering your time. It's mastering the things that move your business forward. It's mastering time blocking. It's a whole lot of things, right? The other one is commit to the 80-20 principle. Oh my gosh. I can't tell you how many people think that everything in their business has to be done by them. The 80-20 principle is how successful people run their business, how CEOs run their business. The CEO of Apple does not care about what goes on the floor. That's somebody else's job. CEOs will typically have 5 things that they focus on. And as a real estate agent, you have 5 things that you should be focused on. But now, what are the 5 things that you need to be focused on as a CEO? So as a real estate agent, you're focused on lead generation, lead follow-up, going on appointments, negotiating and writing offers, self-development, and scripting. Right? Those are your 5 jobs. If you're not doing those 5 things, you're not making money. These are the only things that make you money. Paperwork, does that need to be done? Yes. Does it need to be done by you? No, that's 80%. Everything that's 80% is somebody else's job description. That's the work of your first admin or your first hire or your transaction coordinator. That is not your job. But as a CEO, you're crafting things, you're building things, you're pushing profit margins forward, you're creating new profit margins, you're creating new ancillary businesses. Your thought process is different. As a CEO, I'm only focused on data. I'm focused on time. I'm focused on margins. I'm focused on product. I'm focused on alignment within the marketplace. Bigger goals, same thing, but all of those things are driving me forward from a income perspective. That is something that I think most realtors struggle with the most. So when I time block, I don't time block my whole day. I time block to make sure my 20% gets done, because the 20% is where the money comes from. And here's what, when you don't have a coach, when you don't have somebody that's getting you to think about this differently, here's what happens. Your day starts, and you find that you went through your whole day. Everything that was urgent came up, but nothing that was important got done. There's a difference between urgent and important. Urgent is just something that needs to be done now. Important is something that it needs to be done, but you'll forget about it at the expense of something urgent. So lead generation is important to your business. That's how you make your money. You got to find your clients. You're not going to get to deals without talking to people. But what happens? Oh, I had to run and my nail broke. I had to go get my nail broke, or I broke a heel. I had to go get shoes. Keep shoes in your car. Only focus on your 20%. If it's not your 20%, get somebody else to do it. Order your shoes on Amazon, have them come to your house, but stay focused in that 20%. And these are the 6 personal perspectives that Gary helps us understand, that when we get into the business, these are things that we need to focus on so that we can always be driving our business forward. The third one is moving from E to P. Entrepreneurial to purposeful, from easy to painful. You have to have a purpose for everything that you do. You don't just get up. Like a lot of people, like I coach. So a lot of people are like, well, what do you do every day? I only do things that drive me to my goals. I don't see, an entrepreneur is a hustler. You know an entrepreneur because you've seen them their whole life. They're those people that get it done. See, a purposeful person, I'm not going to move until I have a plan. I'm going to look at what needs to be done. I'm going to research the data. And when I aim, I'm going to fire, and I'm going to hit my target. See, an entrepreneur is going to, they're going to aim everywhere, hit everything, and hope they knock something over, hope something great happens. They might make a little money, they might not. See, somebody that's purposeful, I got my eyes set on $1 billion. The target is here. I'm watching the target. I'm accounting for gravity. I'm accounting for all the things that are going to get in the way of the target, because when I shoot, I want to hit that target. And let me tell you the story about E to P. There's a book that we read. It was such a good book, and I'm always going to give you good books. But there was 2 people given an assignment, and they had to chop down wood. The first guy, entrepreneurial, he a hustler. He get that axe. He get the grinding. He chop it. Say you got 2 hours to chop as much wood as you can. So he chopped about 50 logs down in about 30 minutes. So then the other guy spent 30 minutes sharpening his sword. He didn't cut. He didn't move. He didn't even do anything other than prepare, identify the trees he wanted to cut down. And in the 30-minute mark, he started chopping. By the end, he cut down 3 times more, because this guy had to keep sharpening his axe and go back and stop, lost momentum, go back and stop. We do that in our business. Because we don't take the time to be purposeful, we start stuff, we got to pull back, stop, lose momentum, get back off the ground and stop. How about you be intentional about what you want to accomplish and then create a path to get there? But then the same thing with your actions. You don't just do stuff. I have clients that ask me to do things and I'm like, oh yeah, that doesn't fit in alignment with my goals and what I decided I'm doing for my business. And I can say yes and no to things very easily because I'm purposeful, I'm intentional. And in order to get to this, what this is describing, millionaire real estate agent status, you're gonna have to go from entrepreneurial to purposeful, from easy to painful, right? Entrepreneurial is doing what comes natural. It's natural for everybody to hustle. What's not natural is for you to sit down and plan and move with intention, right? All right, so the fourth one in the millionaire real estate agent is being learning based. Make that the foundation of your action plan. I don't care what you're doing, you should always be learning. You should always be coaching. You should always be reading. You should always be learning something new about the industry. If you're a realtor, you should be studying the market daily. You don't let somebody else tell you what the market is doing. You go in, you gather the data, you interpret the data, you learn it for yourself, because that's how the insight, ideas, inventions are going to come to you. But you have to be learning based. You can't take this approach that I'm the greatest salesperson in the world. I know everything I need to know. I'm a student. If you look at Gary Keller only interviews people. You very rarely will see him be a person of authority. He's always going to be of curiosity, asking questions because he's learning based. And that's something that I learned, and I'm so glad I had the opportunity to learn that. The fifth one is remove your limiting beliefs. We all have them. Before I made my first six figures, I remember thinking it's going to be hard to make six figures. That was the easiest thing I ever did. Now, when I got to my first million, I remember thinking it's going to be hard to make the first million. That is the easiest thing to do. What's hard is staying that course so you can stay on track to get to the billion if that's your goal. That's the hard part. But limiting belief is telling me that it's hard in the first place. It's not hard. Anything is possible. It's, do you have the wherewithal to follow the systems, models, and to let the time take place of your learning and growing so you can get there. This is what I tell people. I reach all my goals. I don't retreat. I don't surrender. And I don't negotiate with my goals. If I set it as a goal, it's going to happen. Because I'm going to remove every limiting belief, and I'm going to figure out what I need to do on this end to go from E to P, to be very purposeful about reaching my goal, breaking my goal down into small, easy steps and action items. And this is some of the things that we talk about in our coaching program. And the last one is to be accountable. This is why coaching is so important. I have maybe 3 coaches now. I'm always going to have a coach because I believe only the best have a coach. Because the best understand that I have to invest in me. I'm not paying my coaches, I'm investing in me. My money holds me accountable. I show up with my numbers, I show up with my data, I show up ready to perform, to be accountable in that way, because I know that that's what it takes for me to move the needle forward. So I always tell people, who's holding you accountable? Do you have a coach that has a business model that you can follow that's holding you accountable to the growth on a regular basis? Or are you just kind of winging it and thinking, I'll make it one day? Here's what you got to know. Millionaire status does not just happen. You will not wake up one day a millionaire. You will not wake up one day in a position to have billions. You are going to have to chart a course there, follow a path there, and be accountable on the way. So this is what our one-on-one coaching program does, because we not only help you, I wouldn't say we help you get goals, because most of the people that I coach already have goals. I'm helping you get into action and execute on those goals in a more efficient way. And it's really just this 2 heads are better than one thing. A lot of times we have the answers, but we're not looking at it objectively. And a coach will really help open up your thought process so that you can start to think bigger. I heard something yesterday that was very profound. He said, anytime you have to replace and with or, you're not thinking big enough. If you think, I want to be a millionaire, I can either be a millionaire or I can enjoy my family, that's limited thinking. I want to be a millionaire, so I can be a millionaire and I'm going to enjoy my family. We have ands over here, not ors. I don't have to sacrifice one thing for another. I have children, I have a family, I have a balanced home life, I have a weekend schedule, I travel, but that is because I understand that everything has an and attached to it, and that if I'm living in this 6 personal perspectives more time than I'm not, that I can create that kind of life for me. So now, as your coach, I'm asking you, what kind of life do you want to create? Are you signed up in a coaching program that's holding you accountable? If you're not, I'd like to speak with you. Let's have a conversation. Click the link in the bio and let's see where we can take this thing. I think the sky is the limit.